Have you ever felt like the way you research things is, well, just about to change forever? We're not talking about a slightly better search engine here. We're talking about a complete revolution in how we find, understand, and actually use information. So let's get right into it. Okay, quick question. And be honest. How many browser tabs do you have open right now? Go ahead, take a look. I'm willing to bet it's more than just a few. We've all been there, right? Just drowning in this sea of open tabs, desperately trying to connect the dots. It's kind of the daily struggle of modern work. And if you're feeling that frustration, you are definitely not alone. The system is just broken. We are constantly battling distractions, falling down these weird rabbit holes, and, spending way more time just juggling tabs than actually getting any real thinking done. It's an absolute recipe for burnout. But imagine for a second, what if there was a better way? What if you could just hand off your most complex, annoying research questions to an AI and get back a detailed, fully sourced report in the time it takes to grab a coffee? That's not science fiction anymore. That's exactly what we're diving into today. So, let's put on our detective hats for a minute. What is really going on here? Why does something that should be so simple, just finding information, feel like such a monumental task these days? I think this quote from Jordan Wilson absolutely nails it. The internet, which is our main tool for research, feels like it's designed to do one thing above all else: distract us. We're not just fighting our own short attention spans, we're literally fighting the very architecture of the web. This right here, this is the modern research nightmare. You're just drowning in this ocean of information, but none of it seems to be exactly what you need. You're constantly wading through clickbait and just SEO-optimized garbage. And even when you finally find something that looks promising, you have to spend hours verifying it and then trying to piece it all together with everything else you found. It is no wonder we are all so exhausted. But what if there was a life raft in this sea of information? What if there was a tool that could do all that heavy lifting for you? Well, there is. It's called Deep Research AI. And believe me, it is not just another search engine. It's your own personal research analyst. And here is the key difference. It's not just about finding information, it's about understanding it. Think of it like this. A regular search engine is like a librarian who just points you to the right section of the library. A deep research AI, well, it's like a librarian who reads all the books for you, highlights all the important parts, and then writes a perfect summary of everything you need to know. Let me show you this in action with a totally mind-blowing example from OIT. They gave an AI a really complex task: create a detailed case study on a super niche financial topic. The AI came back with this, a 16-page report, totally complete with citations and deep analysis. Now, take a wild guess. How long do you think that took? 6 minutes. Just let that sink in for a second. A 16-page report drawing from 22 different academic and news sources, created in less time than it takes to brew a pot of coffee. This isn't just a small step up. This is a quantum leap. Now, before you start thinking that the robots are taking over, let's be really clear. This is a tool, not a replacement for human intelligence. As Professor Eric So from MIT points out, the AI gives you an incredible head start, a really solid foundation to build on. But it's your expertise, your critical thinking, that turns that raw material into a masterpiece. So, how in the world does this AI pull off such amazing feats? What's the secret sauce? Well, it all comes down to a revolutionary new way of thinking for these AI models. Let's pop the hood and take a look. This is the absolute game changer. Think of the older AI models as being really, really good at just guessing the next word in a sentence. They're kind of like a parrot that can mimic human speech but doesn't really get what it's saying. These new reasoner models are completely different. They actually stop and think. They break down problems, they consider different angles, and they work through them step by step, pretty much just like you would. So what does this thinking process actually look like? Well, it's almost like the AI is going on a little research adventure. First, it breaks down your huge question into smaller, more manageable steps. Then it explores all these different paths to find the answers, kind of like a detective following clues. And along the way, it's constantly checking its sources and even changing its plan if it hits a dead end. And finally, it brings all those pieces together into a coherent story. Of course, with a technology this powerful, you know the tech giants are all scrambling to get a piece of the action. So let's get ready for a throwdown. In this corner, we've got Google. In the other corner, OpenAI, and coming in as the scrappy underdog, we have Perplexity. Let's see how they all stack up head to head. I mean, just look at this timeline. It's insane. In the span of just 3 months, the entire world of AI research got turned completely upside down. This is the kind of rapid-fire innovation we're seeing in the AI space right now. It is a full-on race to the top, and we are all just along for the ride. This chart really breaks it all down. If you want the most accurate, nuanced results and you're not in a huge hurry, OpenAI is your go-to. If you need to cast a really wide net for a broad overview, Google is probably your best bet. And if you just need a quick answer, like right now, Perplexity is the fastest. But pay very close attention to that last row, hallucination risk. This is where things get really, really interesting. So what exactly is an AI hallucination? It's when an AI just makes stuff up out of thin air. And this example from the Everyday AI podcast is a perfect, if slightly terrifying, illustration. Perplexity completely invented this wild, bonkers story about the host. And yeah, it's funny, but it's also a serious warning. You absolutely cannot just blindly trust what these tools tell you. You have to be the final judge. Okay, so how do you harness the incredible power of these tools without falling for their pitfalls? It all comes down to one simple rule. Think of them as your co-pilot, not your autopilot. You are still in the driver's seat. This is the perfect way to think about it. Your AI assistant is like a brilliant, super eager intern. They can do a ton of work, they never get tired, and they can read faster than anyone you have ever met. But they're also a little naive. They don't have your years of experience, your gut instincts, or your ability to spot when something just doesn't feel right. They need a good manager. And guess what? That's you. So here's your playbook for working with your new AI assistant. Rule number 1, trust, but always, always verify. Double check those sources. Rule 2, you're the boss. The AI works for you, not the other way around. Rule 3, mix and match. The real breakthroughs happen when you combine the AI's broad knowledge with your own unique data and insights. And finally, Rule 4. Remember, it's a starting point, not a finished product. The AI gives you the clay, but it's up to you to sculpt the masterpiece. So, I'll leave you with this one final thought. As AI increasingly takes over the what, the gathering of facts, what are you going to do with the why? This is so much more than just a new tool. It's a fundamental shift in the very nature of knowledge work. The future, it belongs to those who can not just find information, but who can use it to create meaning, to solve problems, and to lead us forward. The age of the why is here. Are you ready for it?